and the white chalk of doom.
No.
Vroom, 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 vroom. Oh, wow. So today we're reviewing Vincenzo. And oh God, where should we start? Honestly, like what a drama. What sweet, honestly, Tremblay. It's such a sweet drama. I love it. The drama was just so amazing. I didn't even know what to expect because I didn't read the plot, anything. People were just saying online, oh, Vincenzo, Vincenzo. So I thought, you know what? Let's jump on it. And Jung Song Ki, this was his comeback in it. And what a comeback. What a comeback. And let's get started. So, Kazara, the plot, please.
I'm gonna tell you, Vincenzo, what this to me. Oh, I can't even explain what Vincenzo did. Let me get right into the plot. So the plot is basically a mafia. He's a Korean. He was born and raised in Korea up until like maybe 6 or 7. And then he was adopted into like an Italian family and grew up in Italy. So that's why his name is Vincenzo. He comes back to Korea and ended up basically in this Gangnam Plaza where he's living, where they have gold hidden, where he basically hid gold with some Chinese conglomerate. And they've gold under there, and he's basically come back to retrieve it. But essentially what happens is he becomes embroiled with a company called Pabo.
Yes, that's right.
When I tell you Pabo, look, when you think of a big company, think of all the things that they must have done in this life. Is it corruption?
Done.
Is it is
Done.
it everything? And this company, basically him and his group of the tenants that were living in Gangnam Plaza and the lawyer Hong Cha Young decided to basically go
against them.
Pabo and all the things that they stand for. And let me tell you,
Woof, what a fight. What a fight.
yeah, and but let's get started on the character.
Yeah, so like the thing like I love about this drama is that literally there was no prisoners whatsoever. So starting from, let's say, the Pabo group, right? The villains. So the Pabo group, as Kazara said, are the villains. And with the Pabo group, you've got a team of main characters, Mrs. Choi, Lawyer Choi, and Lawyer Choi and Mr. Lawyer Han. And Lawyer Choi used to be a prosecutor, but then she decided to become a lawyer. But she is the most ruthless person I've ever seen. Like the way, because spoiler alert, they murdered Cha Young's dad, which was also a lawyer, because he was getting too close to solving the case of Babu's new drug of being very addictive. So they murdered him, and literally the way she murdered him was literally she messaged somebody saying kill them both, and then she continued eating. And I was just like, wait, who's the both? Please don't tell me. And then I was so shocked. So that was literally the beginning of like us understanding how she is as a character. She's very desensitized to murdering people. She will kill to make sure she gets away for the law. And then we've got Lawyer Han. And Lawyer Han is this goofy guy who just wants to literally climb to the top. But then he doesn't have the spirit or the liver, as they would say, to do all the bad stuff. But he always goes along with it because he's scared they're going to kill him. And then in the Pabo group, we've got Pabo, aka the villain, the super villain, Jang Seo-hong. So he's actually really beautiful. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he's so handsome. But my God, he is a psychotic. Oh my God, he's a psychotic villain. Like, he's a murderer, and he has no like humanity left. I don't think he has any humanity. Like, he fakes it so well that you wouldn't even know it was the villain. Like, I did not know it was the villain. Like, Kazar, did you get a hint that he might be the villain when we were watching? Nothing. And then finally, in the Pabo group too, finally, my favorite character in the whole of Vincenzo is Hanso. R.I.P. darling. Spoiler alert. So basically, Hanso was the chairman in place in case anything goes wrong. But it was a younger brother who was tormented drastically during the childhood by Anseok. So hence he's a bit aloof and spirited, but he's so cute. Like, all he ever wanted in his life was a brother, and that didn't happen. But obviously he found one in Vincenzo until his untimely death. So that's the Pabo group. Kazara, tell us about the Gungo Plaza people and your favorite character.
Oh God, I love each and every single one of them. Like, I'm trying to remember all of them. There's Larry Kang, who owns the
There's
dance.
Larry Kang, there's Ajuma Toboki,
Yeah,
there's the piano slash software scientist. uh, oh, the pawn shop, like the couples, and the Caesar Sajushi.
yeah. And also as well, you have what's it called? Oh, I'm trying to think of. Oh yeah, and then eventually, so the in the beginning, there's destroyed Gangnam Plaza, so they wanted to demolish it because
Yep.
people wanted to build a tower. Wanted to build a tower where Gangnam Plaza is. So they had this group of, like, obviously in Korean drama, you always have the thugs who come to beat people up and try to get them. And
With the wooden plank.
ended up, because obviously they didn't achieve their goal. Pabo kicked them out, so they ended up in Gangnam Plaza as well. And
Yeah.
basically the Bye Bye Balloon crew escape from the country. You made them up, and then you have the, like, prosecutor office where Hong Young's father was working before he was murdered, as well as illegal Ajushi as well, who was working with Vincenzo and Hong Young joins from Pabo to look after her father's company, and finally you have what's it called, and then you have Vincenzo who joins that. So that's the whole, like, Gomga Plaza group, and Pabo group, and then you have all the different.
And then you just have side characters, but those are the main group. And wow, the fight was very intense because what happens is that, you know, like Azara said, Pablo group, they're trying to launch stuff that's not ethical into the society. So for example, the drugs they wanted to launch in the beginning was actually very addictive, and it was a narcotic, and then obviously that's really bad because in Korea they don't really have that going on. So they wanted to launch that, and they were just there was a lot of corruption that was going on. And in the death of Hong Cha-young's father was literally the trigger for Vincenzo and Hong Cha-young to then become the person going against Pabo Group, and then they started on reaching more and more corruption, especially with the tower building, because not Cha-young, sorry, Hang Sok, so the villain wanted to build this tower, like it would literally do everything. He paid millions and billions to build this tower, and they were just trying to prevent it. So a lot of things go down, like a lot of murder scenes go down because, and also another spoiler alert was Vincenzo's mom, who gave him up for adoption, was actually ill, and then she was I think she was prosecuted for the murder of somebody, but she wasn't guilty, and they were trying to sort that out. But it turns out Pabo Group was also involved in one way or another, so they were just trying to sort that out, and then we were just seeing deaths everywhere. And literally, they took no prisoners because it was literally a tit-tat war, like an eye for an eye. Like people were dying like flies, and that's one thing I really like. Like nobody was safe. Like no one, even Vincenzo's mother, as we find out later on in the episodes. Oof, man.
It's really critical about the plot is that, like, you realize how corrupt everyone is. Like the politicians,
the lawyers,
media,
the council, everyone.
Big top people in the country, like obviously in the fictional Korean, like, drama, were all of them all corrupt, and they were all on Babo's paycheck.
That's right.
Literally, it was a case of Vincenzo always made a quote of "it's evil, fight evil," and the thing is, Vincenzo is not a good guy either. The guy, the opening scene, literally destroyed the whole plantation, like, and he murdered people as well. So the fact that it was nice, to refreshing to see evil fighting evil, because a lot of the time tend to see the good try and fight evil, like Hong Cha-young's father, and end up being mad. But Vincenzo could not die. Like they tried to kill him so many
times. Like it was a bit uncanny. Like even when they went through the tunnel and they tried to kill him, I was thinking, how is he going to survive what he did? He's a cat with many lives, basically. And you know what I really like? I think my favorite thing about this drama was the female lead character, Hong Cha-young. She was also ruthless in the ways where she become desensitized. Like, you know what? I know this is unethical, but they deserve it, because if we don't kill them, they're going to kill us. And literally, that's what has to be done. And it becomes a case, like, for example, when they blew up that Ajushi with the bomb, and then they were like, she was so shocked because she was like, wow, I didn't expect that. And then Vincenzo was like, are you all right with that? And she's like, you know what? Not really, but it has to be done. And that's why, and I love the fact that she's so understanding that, yes, it's not good. Yes, it's unethical. However, it's for the greater good. And that's one thing Vincenzo's always reminding us. So I really like that. Yeah.
And development.
When it comes to character development, I think Mrs. Choi definitely developed, but for the worst. Like she became so ruthless. Like her teeth were literally showing. Like I think the part where I believe that she became super ruthless was okay. Yeah, she killed Vincenzo's mom. Okay, yeah, she kills Hong Chang Jeong's dad. Yeah, but it was when somebody came to her to like seek refuge in her, and then she ended up brutally murdering the person. And I was just like, this woman has no mercy. She really doesn't have any mercy. And she'll literally go to any length just to make sure she comes out the top, even going to jail for something that Hang Sung did. And like that just shows like she really developed into this ruthless villain. Like I think she was very much on par with Hang Sok. I believe so. Like they were a very good couple, like a pair together to work together because they were so like vicious and like I love how they matched Vincenzo's viciousness. Like it wasn't a case of oh no, what would Vincenzo do? Because even when they killed the mom, they started dancing. They were so
Waltzing.
they were waltzing, and I was just like wow. And they literally had a buffet and they were eating and just chatting. I was like, you just killed a whole ass woman who had nothing to do with this case just because you want to get one up on Vincenzo. Like just rah.
Yeah. When it comes to like character development as well, I feel like the two most like redempted character, if that's a word, Young and Jang Han So. Oh my God, Han So, like the beginning, like you could just tell that he was a puppet for his brother. His brother,
Definitely.
he literally had the worst life ever. Also, he was obviously we've talked about this previously. He was the son of like he was born out of wedlock, like on children born out of wedlock. So he also with that from his brother being seen as lesser than his brother and like picking up for him. And when he eventually decided, you know what, it's either I do something or my brother's gonna kill me. I mean, it eventually happened, but he still tried to redeem that. So he so and like, you know, brotherly bond and you know, he really like even though the short time he had, he really had bond and he really redeemed himself for the greater good, like trying to help Vincenzo, try to help the Gangnam Plaza people.
Yeah, it really did. It really did. Like, it became my favorite character towards then. Like his 80s outfit when he came in, saying he wanted to blend in. That was so funny. Like, that was so funny. Yeah. Oh, like my favorite quote from Vincenzo is, "Here's your preview."
That interval bit was staged. I didn't know that he actually killed people. I thought it was staged in order to get information.
Ah, no, that was real. I think it was half stage, half real. So like with the Interpol, they were real, but then with the police side, it wasn't. So it was like they reversed it. Because I think when it was a case of from Han So's point of view, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel Hong Cha-young also deserves redemption because in the beginning she was ruthless as well. Like
yes, she was more ruthless in terms of corruption. Like she would pay people to lie. She wouldn't really like get her hands dirty or anything, but literally towards the end, she was literally actively doing stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, oof.
Comes a thing. And I felt like as well, there was literally a shift. Vincenzo, I feel like before, obviously he had plans for them and he was staying out of it a little bit. Like he was young, really handle the case. But the moment they, spoiler alert, murdered his mom.
My guy went 360.
Their yard with a gun and literally spluttered the blood on Choi Myung. I was like, and he's like, you guys so far, like, I've not killed you because it's an inconvenience. I was like,
rah, rah, rah. It was like I'm a cat. What happens to a full cat? He just plays with his mouth.
I know.
The analogy was literally killing me.
Betrayed me.
Yeah.
And then he tried to commit suicide. So I took him to the best hospital, got him treated, then I killed him. I was like,
yeah, and you know, but this is one thing I still like, the fact that when he was saying all this, Mrs. Choi, like lawyer Choi, and Han Sok, they weren't moved, like they weren't scared, like they were still being bad. They were still being bad because literally won them and everything, but they were still being bad. They were not stopping. They were still being ruthless, and I really like that because they really embodied that villain characters. Like they were just bad.
Like they fought to the very end, and I love that about it. Like it's things they'll come in face to face with Vincenzo and they'll be scared. Like the thing with Vincenzo was he fought it head on. They were doing sneaky tactics. Like they were not ready to die. Vincenzo was like, I'm not gonna die.
All or nothing.
Then dies. So yeah, those were like character development. I feel like the characters like the villains got progressively, but you really saw their most evil. And like obviously you have the other side where some people were being like they redeemed their character, moving to the other side. And then you had like one thing I loved about the Gongan Plaza people as well is that they grew more confident. Whilst
Exactly.
they were nervous, like they were like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? For Vincenzo, all the plot they did, like plots to get information. Think of the wildest things.
I think what shifted was when the Scissors Gang came to Gongan Plaza, and then they took the software scientists as hostage. That's literally when they shift, because when this Ajushi with the Scissors started fighting, and they decided, you know what, it's time for us to fight back, because these people will literally kill us. These are not like bye balloons. These are real thugs, and they decided to, you know, go all in and actually just fight Pabo as a group. And I love, like as Kazara said, I love all the characters they played, just to get information from the museum skit to the Pabo destroying Pabo company, to what else is, the shaman, of course, and we can't forget Teo.
Teo.
Oh god, we can't forget Teo. Like there was a lot of characters, and I love that because it was such a dark comedy. Like, you know, one scene you're literally seeing people getting splattered in the head, and then people getting run over, and the next thing is just a bit goofy, and you're just like, I don't know if I can laugh because someone just died, but this is funny. This is funny because literally, like, for example, let me paint the picture. You've got Vincenzo and the whole people acting as shaman and stuff, and they're acting like they can see the future, and it's hilarious because they can't see this, but they're using information they got from this file to like try and succumb this corrupted politician. So it's totally hilarious. And then the next scene, my guy was dead. Like they killed my guy, and I'm like,
yeah.
Whoa.
Like the plot
that took a different turn.
To play when this plot is being played out. Like, and basically also an important thing to know is that the guillotine file is a file in the drama where it literally has all
the corrupted, like I'm talking about literally every single corrupted politician, councilwoman, company, everyone, and what they did, like their deep dark secret, like if they murdered their brother, their siblings, literally anything, because it was from the so intellectual agency, wasn't it?
Oh god, and Mr. Han.
Oh my god.
Mr. Han was honestly actually my favorite Gongan Plaza. My guy worked for the intelligence service and then came undercover. Came undercover to find out more about Vincenzo because he was like, he's a mafia. What's he doing? So started working in the pizza shop, and then you just see my guy just in the corner, like just sliding to get places.
Doing catwalks and stuff.
On Vincenzo, and he was literally like, he was Vincenzo's biggest fan. Like
it was like, it would literally do everything. Like, remember when they told him to write like a recommendation for Vincenzo when someone did a preview, and it was just like, oh wait, where should I start? It was so funny. Nah, Stan was quite good, and it came very useful because at first, like, it wasn't that useful. It was just this very spirited person just all over the place, but then it became very useful when things actually got really dark. It became very useful with the skills, so I like that. Like, I feel like they really utilized every single, like Zainab said, they really utilized every single character. Like, it wasn't just a side character. Like, they infused them into like the episodes and into doing stuff, and I really like that because it wasn't just let's skip this part because these characters are not going to do much, as you do with side characters. They add to like the bigger picture, and I love that. So now we're going to go on to highlights, and then for me, I think I've just got 4 highlights. And number 1 is the con salad. Like, you know, when Vincenzo was going to get getting arrested, and then they were like, oh, you're a consigliere, and then everyone was like, oh, consigliere, consulad. That was so hilarious because I just love it. Like, they were so innocent, and they really took it. Like, they didn't even think, why would it be a consulate? They just said, you know what, he's a consulate, we're not going to ask any questions. They made a banner for him and everything. And I was just it was just so funny because, like, they really thought it was consulate. Like, they didn't even think twice to think what a consulate is. Like, that was literally go down in the books for me. Sorry?
Vincenzo consulate.
Yeah, no, consulate. And then for me, the second one is, I really like the fact that the villain, who's Jang Han Sok, was a young person. Like, it was literally the same age as Vincenzo, like even younger, I would say. And I really love the fact that it was very refreshing with his tactics and stuff. Yes, it was very vile and very dehumanizing and stuff, but it wasn't the same old Cheval guy trying to do a power trip. He wasn't even doing it for a power trip. He just wanted to prove that he can beat Vincenzo. It was a pissing contest, to be honest, and then it just involved people's lives. So I really liked that. That was very refreshing with the plot. That it wasn't like their dad being Vincenzo or something. It was literally the young adults doing this, and I really liked that. That was built. And then I think the third one is the fact that they literally took no prisoners. Like, I love it on both sides. Like, they will kill each other. Like, they will kill their pawns and stuff, because it became a chess playing thing. And I love the fact that literally no one was saved. And I love that, because I can't think, oh, it's gonna get boring, they're gonna keep this person alive. No, like, I love the fact that nearly everyone dies, because like spoiler alert, everyone in the Pabo / Wusan group dies. And and my best spoiler is when they made lawyer Choi dance to her death. Like, it was very, very, oh god, it was what a death, because the dance is such an element, because she danced in the way she usually dances when she kills people, but now she's actually dying in terms of how she would kill someone. So it's more like a karma stuff, and I really like that aspect of it.
Yeah.
I was like, what are your highlights?
Highlights is all the acting they did to get it, to basically get people on their side, like to get like the Teo one as well, where there was a guy. He was basically actually the son of the man that his mom murdered because he was trying to assault her. And so basically the guy was gay, and this guy was so comical. Like, he was just like so in love with Vincenzo. Like, he had literally a type to the T, and Vincenzo was his type to the T. And what they did to get information as well. Aman one really finished me. Like,
especially when Chayoung was drawing and saying 5, 4, 3 days. That was funny.
And yeah, it's just all the plot, and also like all the different tactics, like spraying them with pig's blood to try and like obviously like try and humiliate people. And also my highlight is how they always bounce back. Like, Pabo would literally, like, you think, oh, this
that's the end.
And they'll come back with something like, it's just like they just wouldn't die. Like, they were like a bug. They wouldn't die. And I just those scenes with them, I think those are just my highlight. I think anything to do with the resident, and I love the unveiling out. All the residents had something to them as well. Like, I just shoot with the scissors, being like
ex-gang member.
How like the contrast with Vincenzo being like a mafia, and then he's turned his life around, but he's obviously still has those gang traits, and just within them, that's just really beautiful. It's just a really nice drama, and they really utilized all those characters well.
Yeah, I really like that. And obviously we need to talk about the throats and montage and the white chalk of doom. Vroom, 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 vroom. In the beginning. And I really I think that was one of my favorite parts. Like, I really love how when Cho was in the laundromat, and the chalk was literally just there staring at her, and then she knew what was coming. And I just love how everyone knows what the white chalk of doom, man. I love it. I absolutely love it. Oh my god.
White Chocolate Doom as well. Like, I love how it changed, because normally it always happens at a crossroad. Heaven, and then the white truck of doom is always like, boom.
Yeah, they used it in the streetlights too.
Like, the truck came into the window and they literally flew like this, dropped on the floor. Oh my, what? Because it was literally almost like the car was coming at us. Like, came at us. I was like, oh, that is such a different way. So
it was quite refreshing. Like, I really love, like, there was a lot of refreshing plots and scenes in Vincenzo, and that's what makes it really nice, because it's not like your same old boring corrupted company versus the underdog. No, they're not the underdog. They had the skills and abilities. Like, they had money to fight, so it was like rich evil fighting richer evil, basically. And then product placement, Maxim coffee and Kopiko candy with a hint of Swarovski.
Oh
my god,
they love it.
Oh god, I love it. It was so blatant. Like, even when he was traveling back to Italy, he was putting the Maxim coffee in his suitcase. Oh my god, they getting their checks.
Tangy.
Sorry?
Dangy, the little bird, the Vincenzo.
Oh my god!
Even the bird.
That, I think that was the most hilarious part ever. Like the fact that he saved Vincenzo, I was just like, wow. And I read online that it was actually animated. It's not a real bird. So I was like, oh, okay, because pigeons would be a bit carrying disease and stuff. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, it's nice that it's animated. That gave me a peace of mind for Opa Jung's okay. For OST, I think the OST is alright. I can't remember anything per se. Oh my god, yes, my favorite OST is let me act this out. Congratulations on your mom. Do not fight. There's a black hair from my hair. That's my favorite OST.
By the monks. By the monks.
By the badass monks. Moving the gold and stuff.
Oh god, no. Yeah.
This drama, honestly, it's such a dark comedy. You have to watch it. It's so refreshing. Oh god.
I love them. They were just so like they knew, like they had an idea the gold was definitely under there because the gold was their monastery. So the gold was
that was funny.
Tried so many times to get it out, like, and it was because Mr. Han, the intelligence officer, always caught him, and he's like, oh, he's trying to redeem himself. What?
Especially, when they like accidentally put the eye detector downstairs, and they were like, oh, and they're like, oh my god, Vincenzo. I love it. I love how like different perception, like the way that it's perceived by different people would think that they were praying, but they were never praying. They were just in so much shock. But anyways.
Sorry, I forgot to say, was at the end when he killed Jang Hang Sok, and he was the reference saying that he's the, I don't know how to say, but I think it's a Buddhist thing, and then they gave us a flashback to when
when the monk was saying how we can never reach the Buddha status.
Good person because he can't live with that guilt of all the things that he's done, and the monk was times in life, like there's just some people who they
just have to protect other people with doing bad things,
like accreditation or that recognition that they've done something for the greater good. Yeah, definitely.
So for the ending overall, I love the ending. Like a lot of people are saying season 2, and they're like, oh, because what would happen to the gold? But I was like, that doesn't really mean that there should be a season 2, because we know what happens to the gold. The gold is in Chaeyoung's place, and everyone in the Gum Gum Plaza know about the gold. So I feel like that's a good way. And moreover, all the villains are done. So unless like there's like a new mafia villain that's coming for Vincenzo, and then adopt Chaeyoung as a result, that's the only thing that would make sense. But that's gonna make it seem like what's that one? I don't think there's need for a season 2. But rewatch power is very high. I can see myself watching it again. What about you, Kazara?
Definitely, I would definitely drama again, especially all those funny bits.
Exactly. So for me, I would definitely give this a rating of 9.5, and I don't think I can do 10 out of 10 because I felt like in the beginning when I was watching it, it was very smooth, but then towards the end, it was quite chaotic. Like I couldn't get my head around, so I even had to take a break because I was like, oh, this is getting too much. Like it wasn't really a smooth transition because they were trying to like sort out so many things at once, and the corruptions and this and that. So I just feel like towards the end, it was definitely worth it because for 21 hour long, or even 20 actually, so for 20-hour long episodes, it was definitely kept the momentum going, but it just wasn't as smooth as I expected it to be. Like if you compare it to the first 10 hours, so 9.5 out of 10. Yeah. What about you, Kazara?
I'll definitely give it a 9.5 as well. No, you know what, Zainab, you're saying about how they don't need to kill the younger brother. I felt like we needed just that.
We needed one character from Vincenzo's side to die. I think that's what we needed because not everyone could be saved. Yeah. So I think because I honestly thought they were going to kill Ajushi with the fighting Ajushi that's always acting as if he can fight. Like I thought they were going to kill him because I feel like it's only fair, like just to, because you can't keep everyone safe because it's such a very toxic and very dangerous playing field. Like you couldn't, so somebody had to go, and it just made sense for Hanso because like I just feel like he died as a better person, and that's what matters. So I think 9 over 5.
Pabo, because he would have had to have his hands, like Pabo needed to fall, and brother, there's just no place he would stay. What would he go and do? Stay with be following Vincenzo around the world? Like, it just seems like there was just no.
Yeah. He wasn't a leader himself. Like, I feel like he needed someone, because he's still like, it was still childish, because obviously he didn't really like develop properly. Like, he hasn't matured yet because his brother stunted his growth. So I feel like, yeah, he had to go. That's not like, I can't see a season 2 coming, but you know what? Korean dramas, Korean writers, they're one of the best in the world. So surprise me, I'm ready.
9.5.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the one comment as well that me and Fido posted on Twitter was to do with Seroyi comment. If you watched Eat Born Class, you would get it. Was hilarious. So yeah, that comment still finishes me.
But anyways, thank you very much, Zainab, for interacting with us as usual and watching us and definitely commenting. Saranghe.
Saranghe.
And here's your pew 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 pew.